It's not a matter if you want to make money, but it's a matter of how much you actually want to make.
This is Paul Hilse, a 21-year-old millionaire who's making $100,000 every single month from Faceless YouTube channels.
This one video made me dollars.
In the next 40 minutes, he's going to show you how to build a cash cow channel from scratch so that you can make passive income from the comfort of your own home, and all without ever showing your face on camera. He teaches you the most profitable niches.
These channels are making millions.
How to get monetized fast.
It only takes to make your first $1,000.
And YouTube advice that is blatantly wrong.
Almost all that matters on YouTube is your titles, your thumbnails, and your idea.
All right, guys, so we are here with Paul Hilse. He's run a bunch of Faceless channels, and today we're kind of going to sit down, ask him about them. Do you want to give a quick introduction on yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Paul. I'm 21 years old. I went from homeless to millionaire at the age of 19. I built multiple Faceless channels, and yeah, here I am today to share a little bit about my journey and how you can potentially get some value out of it. And if you want to start a Faceless channel, then I think this is the video to really watch and get the most value out of it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited to jump into it. Obviously, you've done a lot. Really quickly, do you want to just kind of talk about how much you've made with Faceless channels over the years? How many channels have you run? Just a little bit about your backstory.
Yeah, so my backstory is I started from Shopify dropshipping, completely flopped in that, lost a crap ton of money. I'm like, okay, let me start another business. And I stumbled upon Faceless channels. I stumbled upon someone's ad online. I'm like, there's no way this is legit. And you're saying you can make money without showing your face or making any videos and all this good. I'm like, what? And I, even though I was a little bit reluctant, I got into it. And I started creating a few videos myself originally. And from then, I've scaled my business, my portfolio of channels. It's almost like Alex Hormozi style, where it's not just like my own personal channels, but also I invest into other people's businesses as well. So my personal channels and also my accumulation of the investments that I have, we have scaled to over $2 million in total revenue. I have 5 personal channels myself. In the timeline of things, we have over 20 channels, if not more, because we're consistently investing into more channels right now. So yeah, at the peak, we were doing around 250K per month in revenue. And right now we're doing around 100K per month.
That's crazy. 100K per month with Faceless channels. That's actually wild. Yeah. I mean, let's just dive in. I mean, how do you actually start a Faceless channel? Give me the rundown on that. What's the step-by-step process that you use?
Yeah. So starting a Faceless channel is pretty simple. I would say there's really only 3 steps to it. And the first step really is just first finding a topic or a niche that has an untapped market or just an audience that is craving for that type of content, and being able to supply videos for that audience, right? A lot of times people try to get into something that they like. Maybe they like to travel, so they create a channel about travel. It's like, okay, you might like that, but does the mass audience like that? Do the millions like that? And so it's really about getting into a market that is untapped, that has a lot more demand than there is supply. And if you have a lot of demand for a niche and there's not many people creating videos, then guess what? You can tap into that market and be able to get all those views. And also, because you get so many views, you make the most money. So that's step number 1, finding an untapped niche in a market that has a lot of demand. How do you do that? What you do is you can go into incognito on YouTube and you can pretty much just look around, right? You want to make sure you go into incognito so that way your cookies aren't tracked. And you can see what YouTube is actively promoting right now and what is going the most viral. What is in the headlines of YouTube's homepage. And I would just do a few hours a day research there. Doesn't have to be that much long. And then what you start to notice is there's certain patterns, there's certain topics and niches that are actually blowing up. And what I do is, instead of trying to come up with something outside the box or something that's totally creative, I say, hey, this is something that's working. And if it's working already, why not just double down, right? Instead of reinventing the wheel, let me just do what works and what is going viral right now. Because if that channel that's newly created within the last 3 to 6 months, I know there's a lot of potential in there because it's not a saturated niche or topic. So number 1, getting into an unsaturated niche or topic and making sure that there's a lot of demand in that. And if you do that, that will set you up for major success. It's almost like building a skyscraper. If you want to build a skyscraper, you want to make sure the foundation is good. You want to make sure that you have steel beams. You want to make sure you have great concrete, great materials. And that's what building a good niche is, right? Having a good niche, right? You have the foundation set up. And once you have the foundation set up, then the automation side or the Faceless side kind of really comes in, right? Which is building your team and having your team do videos for you. Now, a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, a team. How am I supposed to build a team? Like when I first started, I was like, I was a teenager. I never thought I would be a boss. I never thought I would like manage a team. And a lot of times we have these misconceptions that like having a team is like difficult. It's hard to manage. Oh, I got to do this, got to do that, got to pay them. But, you know, in the beginning, you might not necessarily have to have a team. I did it myself, right? I didn't have the most money in the world. So I did my own scripts. I did my own edits. And eventually I was able to automate it by having other people do it. So I'll pay people like $10, $20 to do a script or do an edit. And so that was my transition. But the way that you find a team and the way that you outsource to a team is by going on platforms like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com. Pretty simple. I'm sure you guys have heard of it before. My favorite is Upwork just because it's a place where you can find freelancers, hire, communicate, and you can do everything on one platform, right? So why go through the mess of anything else? So that's where I'll find like high quality freelancers. You can also find like high quality freelancers on like Twitter. They're just a little more expensive. And if you have that budget, then I would 100% find people on Twitter. But I would say Upwork is the main place to find high quality people where you can create videos for 50 to 70 bucks a pop, right? 50 to 70 bucks. And that video could potentially make you thousands of dollars back. Now, I'm not saying every single video is going to make you a lot of money back, but what we're doing is we're in the arbitrage economy, right? And what is the arbitrage economy? It's pretty much outsourcing so that way you can make that spread when that video actually goes viral, right? You're taking the risk as a business owner, but you also get all the upside as well if that video goes really viral. So step one, pick a profitable niche. Step two, create the video or outsource someone else. And step three, guess what you got to do? You just got to freaking post it. Take that action, post it, and just be patient and just be consistent. That's it. Because a lot of people, when they try and get into Faceless channels, they're like, okay, Paul, I picked the niche. I outsourced. I made the video. It's like, okay. And the first video they post, they get like 5 views. It's like, they're freaking out. It's like, that's YouTube, guys. That's business. That's the game of life. Your first rodeo, your first rep, your first time you go to the gym, the first time you post a video, it's not going to be good. It's going to be trash. But it's those who are consistent. It's those who are consistently posting, optimizing, and making sure that they're improving 1% every single time. They're the people that will win. They're the people that will be able to scale their businesses and be able to actually profit from Faceless channels. Because all Faceless channels is just creating high quality content. And the first time around, you're probably not going to have the best content in the world. But if you have the mentality of improving and just becoming better gradually, you will absolutely win at this game.
Dude, that's really good advice.
Yeah.
I think that you're completely right. Like 99% of people, the reason why they don't succeed is literally just because they don't post. And I think
don't post. Too scared.
Exactly. And you just have to put yourself out there and do that. So that's amazing advice. I did want to know, you said you spend around $50 to $70 per video, correct?
Yeah, it's not every single channel. Some of my lower production channels are anywhere from like 70 to 75 bucks. Some of my higher production channels are anywhere from like 250 to like 500 bucks. So it really depends on the type of channel and the type of quality I'm going for and the type of like market that I'm targeting. Yeah.
And what's the most you've ever made from one video?
If I remember correctly, I have one. I don't know the most I made because every single video is like kind of topping each other as time goes on. But the top 3 videos, the most I ever made is anywhere from 35,000 to 41,000. Those videos are kind of out competing each other right now because they're still getting views, even though I posted them years ago.
Dude, that's absolutely insane. Like $50 to $200 for that kind of return is just ridiculous.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think you can find that anywhere else, like any other investment vehicle. So that's absolutely wild.
Yeah, exactly. It is pretty wild when you actually do the numbers of like what that return on investment is. But like, again, like I had to, post a bunch of other videos. I had to optimize over time. It wasn't overnight, but it's a wild game to get into. And if you optimize and you make your videos better over time, you will have videos blow up like that. And all it really takes, like I like to say this, it's like you're one video away. You're only really one video away from changing your life, one video away from the entire course of your channel. Probably same thing for your channel as well. When you saw that first video blow up, you're like, holy shit. And then every consecutive video started picking up more traction, right? And that's for every single person. You're talking about Mr. Beast, you're talking about Eric and all these huge guys. Like, all it took was one video, right? And that's all it takes. If you have that one video to blow up, your life can change.
What is like the timeline for someone just starting out in YouTube automation, or someone like yourself who has experience? What does that timeline look like from starting a new channel to becoming profitable and starting to make consistent income online?
Yeah, so everyone's going to be different, and everyone has different skill sets. Everyone has different capabilities. So some people, with certain capabilities and certain knowledges, can definitely be a lot quicker. So definitely don't compare yourself to my timeline or other people's timeline, but understand that you generally, what I see, because I do have a lot of people that I do help grow their channels. Generally, I see is if you are doing things correctly, and you are optimizing your thumbnails, your titles, your videos, and you have a streamlined process in place. You know what you're doing, right? You have the solid infrastructure. Generally what we see is anywhere from 2 to 4 months, you can get your channel monetized, right? 2 to 4 months, right? And, can it be longer? Yes. Can it be shorter? Yes. But that's a realistic time frame, and also a pretty conservative time frame. Now, if you want to make your first $10,000, I have people that I work with. His name is Bruno. He went from 0 to $38,000 in 5 months, right? But is that normal or typical? Definitely not, right? But it is possible. But I would aim for a goal of reaching, around $5,000 to $10,000 within, the first 12 months of starting your channel. I think that's completely reasonable if you have really solid videos. And guess what? All you really need is one video a month or every other month to go viral for you to consistently cash flow $5,000 to $10,000. Like, that's really all you need, right? You don't need every single video to cash flow. You don't need every single video to get 1 million views. All you need is one or few. And that one video that I paid $70 for, maybe back 41,000. It just that was the thing that just catapulted my whole entire channel forward, right? So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Dude, that's great. Yeah, that's crazy. That's really not that long, for someone just starting out. But yeah, I wanted to ask also, like you said, one of the most important things is like your niche, right? Like that could make or break your channel. What are some of the niches that you currently see right now that are really good opportunities for people to go out and tackle?
This is one of the niches that's really popping off on YouTube. There's definitely a lot of niches out there, and a lot of niches that are just making a crap ton of money right now that are popping off left and right. But out of all the things that I've explored as of now, right, take this with a grain of salt, because these niches won't be the hottest niches 6 or 12 months down the line. But as of now, this recording, this channel called President's Play or these channels that are in the President's Play niche are freaking blowing up like crazy. It's pretty much AI voices of presidents playing games. Remember, these are faceless channels, probably teenagers or people, who behind this that are creating these videos that are making anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, even $30,000 a month with these channels. And guess what? Most of these channels started roughly around like 4 to 6 months ago, right? 7 months ago, right? When I first found this niche, it started like 2 months ago, right? And so remember what I mentioned before, what is a good niche? It's something that is, first off, unsaturated, channels that are just popping off left, right, and center that are new, that are getting hundreds of thousands of views. There's a demand for it. And this is a perfect niche for that, right? It's super new. It's super creative, super innovative, super quirky, like so different, president. And guess what? It's pretty simple because you don't need a voiceover. You have there's something called 11 Labs. And what 11 Labs is, it's pretty much an AI voiceover tool where you can upload people's voices in there and it'll mimic their voices. That's how these channels are doing it. And all they do is they have an editor that goes into these games and pretty much edits the gameplay. And I'm telling you, the people who own these channels are like 16-year-olds that are making a crap ton of money, right? So it's kind of crazy what's happening. You can see these are all different channels that are popping off right now as we speak. Parody Gaming, President's Playdates, Patriot. And if there's this many channels that are starting right now, it's a gold mine. Right? What happened in California when they found gold? Everyone started going to California. So what you want to do is you want to get in as soon as possible before all the gold is dug. Another channel, Healthy Ever After. This channel started, This channel started around 7 to 8 months ago. When I found it, it was only like 2 to 3 months old. And look at these videos. Look at these videos.
Bro, the views on that are crazy. Oh my
It,
God.
it's crazy, right? Like 8 months ago, 1.2 million, 340. It's crazy. Every single video, 2.5 million. In this channel, I think, so I know someone who knows the owner of this channel. I think they're making 30 to 40K per month right now off of this channel that they started 8 months ago. And like all they do is they just talk about old people and like how they were able to stay young and healthy, what their workouts were, what their diets were. These are like pretty stupid niches, guys. Like nothing crazy out of the ordinary. It's just people found a demand and they met that demand. And that's how you can profit big on YouTube. And this is two out of a lot because like usually like niches are hard to come by. Especially if you don't know how to do your research. With my team, like we have a whole research department where we just research new and upcoming niches. That's why we're able to like find these cool niches here. But do your research, go into incognito, find different things because who knows, like there can be 1,000 other niches that you can get into that are untapped still, that have a lot of potential. Right now, these two, I would say they're in the middle stages. There's a lot of people getting into them now because they see it popping off. So, take it with a grain of salt. I would say these channels, if you were to start these like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, dude, you would freaking kill it. Right now, you can probably still make some money, but there's already a lot of people coming in. So it will be a little bit more difficult, but you see perfect examples of channels that are just making a crap ton of money right now.
I'm curious, are there any like tools that you use to help find good niches? Like, are you going on like Google Trends or how do you actually like analyze the niche after you've kind of, found something that you think might have potential?
So great question. I definitely do use Google Trends. I compare like different, search terms and, which channel pretty much has the high search term, but also like take that with a grain of salt because that's not the end all be all. Because a lot of times you might see like certain keywords might have higher search volume and you say, okay, because this has higher search volume and this one has lower search volume, I'm going to go with the one that's higher. It's not always necessarily the case, right? And so there's a nuance with YouTube, there's a nuance with niches. And so I would say the best way that I've been able to discover niches is simply going to incognito. And these are the benchmarks I look for. Was the channel started in the last 3 to 6 months? The sooner, the better, right? Because it's fresh. It's a blue ocean. There's no one in there yet. Only 3 to 6 months. And then I look at, okay, are there more views than subscribers on this channel? The reason why I look for that is because if there are more views than subscribers, then I know for a fact that this channel is being promoted heavily in the algorithm. And the higher the higher the view count compared to the subscribers, the better it is for me because I know this channel is going mega viral, right? And it's YouTube is really favoring this content. And so those are the two main things I look for. Is it a recent channel that is popping off? And is the view count dramatically more than the subscribers? And if yes, and I feel like it's a channel that I can execute well in and I know a lot in, I would 100% jump into it.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's the same thing that we do. Just like for our market research is we look at like videos that have high views, low subscribers and try to optimize for those.
Yeah, exactly.
You said it costs about like $50 to $200 per video. What is the total amount that someone should expect to invest before they see a return?
Yeah. So, given the timeline of what I mentioned before, around 2 to 4 months to get monetized. Monetize just means you can finally make money on YouTube. You just do the math on that. If you post, let's just say, just keep the numbers easy. Let's say $70 per video, right? Or just say $100 per video. Just make it a little higher, right? Just make the numbers super easy. And let's say you post like once a week. So once a week across 4 weeks, it's around $400. Right? $400 times 2 months or 4 months. What you're looking at? You're looking at anywhere from like $1,000 to $2,500, maybe on the higher end, like $3,000 to get monetized, and for your channel to start producing cash. Right? Are you going to be making a significant amount of money in the beginning? No, but that money that you're making for your channel would otherwise supplement your video creation costs. So I would say, have at least anywhere from $1,000 to, $2,500 to comfortably invest into your channel. And I think most people have $400 a month on the sidelines to be able to invest into a business that could potentially change your life. If you don't, then you're just making excuses for yourself. And if you don't have $400, do your own scripts, do your own edits, right? That's what I did because I lost a bunch of money on drop shipping and I'm like, I can't lose any more money. I gotta figure out myself before I invest more money.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any like tricks or like little tips that you can give people who want to start an automation channel that, you know, most people don't talk about that actually makes a big difference?
Yeah, I would say like with YouTube automation and any other business, people will always try to find the tricks and try to find the secret hack, the back door to success. And like the way that I approach business is like instead of trying to find the secret hack or the secret trick, instead let me just do what's necessary. Let me just do the ABCs instead of trying to find the XYZ, right? Let me first take the first few steps. So people might be wondering, okay, what is the first few steps, right? First off, building your channel, posting. Okay, cool. Now, if you're asking in terms of what I would have you focus on and the things that have the highest leverage, the 80-20 of YouTube automation, I would say the most important thing that people fail to focus on is the title and thumbnail. Now you might be wondering, what do you mean by that? Everyone on YouTube is thinking about the video itself. How do I make the editing better? How do I add this clip? How do I add this music? And they're so focused on that. But here's the deal. If no one likes your title and thumbnail, they'll never click on your video. And if they never click on your video, they'll never see the hard work that you put into your video. Your blood, sweat, and tears, spending 20 hours trying to make this video perfect. And so most people spend most of their time on the video, right? And so little time on the title and thumbnail. Well, let me tell you something. Guess how much Mr. Beast spends on one thumbnail?
I know, but I don't think the audience knows. So tell us.
Mr. Beast spends around $10,000 on the thumbnail, y'all. All right, $10,000. That's crazy. And that just goes to show how important the thumbnail and the title and the idea are. And so if I were to say, what is the thing that helped me succeed on YouTube compared to other people who are trying in this business, is that they focus on the video. I focus on the idea, the title, and thumbnail. And when you focus most of your time on this, guess what happens? Your video becomes that much more clickable and that many more people actually watch it. And even though your video itself might not be as good as theirs, you'll still get more views because it is a more attractive packaging. Now, am I saying ignore your video? No, I'm not saying that, because you want to make sure viewer satisfaction is good. You want to make sure people come back, subscribe to your channel, watch the next video. But you get the point, right? If you can have a really solid video and an even better title and thumbnail, then you have nailed YouTube. So here's what I do. How do I come up with good ideas, titles, and thumbnails? It's very simple, guys. Very similar to what I did with, like the niche picking, right? All I would do is I'll look at competitors out there, maybe in my niche, maybe outside of my niche, and just see, okay, what are they doing? What are the things that are working? Because instead of trying to pave my own path in the jungle, I want to be able to follow in someone's footsteps, because it's going to be a much easier journey because the path has already been paved. Instead of me trying to take a hatchet and try to curve through the jungle myself and say, I'm going to think out the box. No. Right? So I look at what other people are doing good. What type of styling the thumbnail works? What type of colors? What text should I include in what's on my title? What type of ideas is hitting with the audience? What resonates? And I'll pretty much take that, right? But you don't copy it, right? You don't copy it. There's one thing that Picasso said, which is steal like an artist. All right, steal like an artist. What does that mean? It means that you don't copy, but you take the fundamental concepts of what worked, what made it go viral, and take inspiration from that and utilize it. Because if you're not doing that, you're that guy that's trying to pave their own path throughout the jungle when there's a path right there that's already been cleared. All right? So that's what I do. And I keep it very simple. I just look at what is working, taking that, steal like an artist, like what Picasso said, and then adding my own unique twist, my own unique variation, and seeing what the audience and the market is looking for, right? What are those gaps, right? You don't just look for the gaps with the niches, but you also look with the gaps with your ideas, right? And kind of cater your titles and your thumbnails to that.
I'm curious, once you've kind of started up a channel, you get it running a little bit, you start making a little bit of money, how do you start to structure a team? How do you really expand out and kind of scale this business to the next level, where you can remove yourself and, not have all of your time put into like scripting and editing and all that?
Yeah. So maybe I can tell you my story of what I did when I first started. I was in high school. And again, I failed my dropshipping business and I didn't have much money. And I'll come back from school and I'm like, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to be in this 9 to 5 grind forever. I want to do my own thing. And so I would be doing homework. And then after I finish homework, I'll crank out like a bunch of YouTube scripts. So if you don't have money, do that. All right. Once I started making a little bit of money on my channel, I started outsourcing to a scriptwriter, outsourcing to an editor. And what happened was eventually I started growing more and more. I started building my second channel, my third channel, and so on and so forth. And I started expanding from there. And when I started expanding, what happened was I realized I was communicating with so many people, right? Even though this, mostly automated, still when you're communicating with that many people and trying to keep people on track and reviewing their work, still a lot, right? It's still a lot to manage. Even though a lot of it is automated. When you have more than 2 channels, what you want to do is you want to be able to have systems and processes in place to be able to make sure that you can buy back your time. Because what I realized was I got into this business in order to have freedom. But if I'm working so much in the business and I don't have any freedom to do the things that I want, like travel, then that defeats the whole purpose. So I'm like, okay, how can I build systems to be able to remove myself? Okay, let me hire a manager. Let me hire a person to be me. Let me hire a person to review. Let me hire a person to actually message the freelancers and communicate in my place. So I've kind of just took myself out of the equation and placed them in. And here's what I did. I had them pretty much message the freelancers. I taught them how to review. I taught them how to give feedback. I taught them, what our posting schedule is like, how to post, how to manage the channel, how to deal with people. And obviously this is a little more advanced, but when you want to scale your channel, when you actually want to build a media empire and a portfolio of channels, this is what you need to do to buy back your time, right? And what I do is I pay them pretty much a percentage of my channel. I pay them 5% profit share of my channel, just so they're super incentivized to actually grow the channels even more and to just get it to the next level.
For sure. No, that's really good. Yeah, I think the percentage revenue share is a really smart idea, because then you're not necessarily taking that much risk and they have more potential for long-term rewards. So it's kind of a win for both of you.
Exactly.
A lot of people, when they're first starting out, they may be worried that the niche that they're going into is like saturated, or, the niche that they're going into just has a lot of competition already. How would you tell them to what would you say to them to help them stand out in their niche? Like, how would you stand out in a market?
Yeah, great question. So in terms of standing out in the market, there's a lot of things that you can do, because a lot of times I see people see a niche and they see channels already doing it and they do the channels one for one. They pretty much copy it instead of taking inspiration, which is not something you should do, right? Remember what Picasso said, steal like an artist. You want to take and you want to change. The way that you differentiate yourself, the way that I differentiate myself, is by injecting personality into my channel. So what is injecting personality like? Think of your favorite YouTubers. Think of A-Rack. Think of Mr. Beast. Think of the people that you watch. Why do you like them? A lot of their videos are very similar to other people on the platform. Why do you like them? You like them because you resonate with them. You like them because they're funny. You like them because of their story. You like them because there's something different about them that other YouTubers just can't relate to. And so throughout my videos, I try to incorporate aspects of likability, of personality. What does that mean? Maybe that means maybe that means adding jokes and corny jokes throughout your videos. Maybe that means making silly references every other paragraph. Maybe that means adding memes throughout your videos and funny edits. Maybe that means adding a anime character in your profile picture, and anime fans are more attracted to your channel. These are small things that you can do to differentiate yourself from everyone else. And guess what? The anime tag actually works really well. Have your profile picture be an anime, or your banner be someone. It's that stuff works really well because the anime community is such a strong community that they're like, oh, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. And then they follow you because of that. And even though they might not have been interested in what you're talking about, they follow you and they naturally start to like you and watch more of your content. And so think about that. Maybe it's not anime. Maybe it's cartoons. Maybe it's TV shows. what are things you can incorporate into your videos and add jokes like that. Obviously, don't try to have things that are so out of the picture that no one in your audience gets, but strategically add things in that you think your audience could get and understand.
For sure, dude. That's great advice. So do you think anime is a good niche?
Anime right now is really popping off.
All right.
Yeah, it's really popping off. Not only anime, but also like manga. So what people will do is they'll do like manga. They'll pretty much take the manga and they'll like put it on a channel. It's like manga recapped. Put on a channel instead of like people having to like read it themselves. The video pretty much narrates the manga.
That's smart.
Yeah, and it doesn't really take that much work because everything is already kind of laid out for you in the manga.
Cool. So last question that I want to ask, what is the potential of this business model? Like how much can you actually make with YouTube automation?
Yeah, great question. So right now I'm in the game. I'm not in the game of YouTube automation. I'm in the game of private equity in terms of media companies. And some of you guys might be wondering what the hell that is. All private equity is pretty much investing a certain percentage into a business, and you come on as an equity partner and you help that channel grow in the hopes that eventually this channel can produce cash flow and you can even exit out of it. So my plan, I'm not sure if you guys know Alex Hormozi. I'm sure a lot of you guys know Alex Hormozi. What is Alex Hormozi's plan? Alex Hormozi, he started an educational company helping gyms, helping gyms and growing them. And he was able to exit out of his company for around $40 million, which is awesome. And now what he does is he takes a percentage of different educational companies out there right now and pretty much grows these companies because he's had experience doing that. And this business has the highest likelihood of getting to $1 billion just because of how scalable it is, just because of the exit value of the business. With YouTube channels, you can definitely make a lot of cash flow. You can definitely make a lot of money. But the money to be made in cash flow YouTube channels and YouTube in general is the exit possibility. How you can sell channels for 100,000, $1 million, even a portfolio of channels for $100 million. That is the true game of cash flow channels. And so that's the channel where that's the game that I'm in right now and the game that I'm trying to build and that has the highest potential to get to $100 million, right? So when you buy into channels or scaling my own channels, growing them to the next level with my experience, and then eventually selling it to a private equity firm or investment firm or, just cash flowing off the channels. And that is really the $100 million exit plan right there.
Dude, that's so interesting. Yeah, I've thought about that a little bit, but that makes a lot of sense. You can really, because these are just consistent like cash flow vehicles for
exactly,
right? Like someone, since your face isn't on it, someone can actually just buy it and then take it over.
Exactly.
Getting that cash flow.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's really the next level. Like, once you understand cash flow channels, you know how to actually profit off of it. Stop thinking about the $5,000, $10,000. That's cool. Think about the millions. Think about how you can sell a channel for $1 million. Guys, go to the website trustiu.com. You'll see channels right there that are being sold for $200,000, $250,000, $1 million, $3 million. Channels that are mostly faceless channels.
Damn.
Because faceless channels are a lot more exitable than face channels, because faceless channels, it's not a face. You can sell your team, you can sell your channel and pretty much plug and play into someone else. And it's pretty much like real estate. It's pretty much an asset. And there's this huge business that's going on in the back that most people don't understand. But I understand that most people need to get to their first 5 to 10K per month in order to even think about that.
Oh, you're dropping the sauce on here. This is crazy. That's great. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to add that you think people should know?
I would say cash flow channels has definitely changed my life. But I would say if you're just getting into this game and you're just getting into this business for the sake of making a quick buck, it's not going to work, because you need to understand the reason why I was successful is not because I wanted to make an extra dollar or I wanted to buy a Louis Vuitton bag or a Lamborghini. I don't care about any of that stuff. The reason why I was able to succeed is because I had no other options to succeed. I had no other option. You might wonder, what do you mean? When I introduced myself in this podcast, I said I was homeless and I became a millionaire. You might be wondering, how are you homeless? You live in a place right now. I was literally homeless and my parents lost everything. My mom lost all of her real estate. We lived on the street wandering, literally didn't have a place to sleep. I had to sleep on my aunt's couch for multiple months. And so I was in a mode of desperation. I had to make something work. I had to do something. And so if your motivation is just to make an extra buck, if your motivation is just to buy a Lamborghini to impress your friends, I'm telling you, that's not a strong enough motivation. You need to burn all your boats to understand that there is no plan B, that you have to succeed. And if you get yourself in that mentality, if you get yourself into that mindset, when you burn all your boats, there is no plan B, you will make a way to actually succeed. No matter the failure, no matter what happens, because I'm telling you, you will fail countless times. I have failed more times than you can ever imagine. I have ate shit more times than you can imagine. But the way that you win is by understanding that every single failure, every single situation is not against you, but it's for you. That things happen because you can learn from it. That you can take up something positive out of any dire situation. Because I was homeless is because the reason I'm successful. I wouldn't be successful if I didn't feel that pain, if I didn't feel that suffering, if I didn't feel that sense of insecurity, that sense of not having anything. And that's the thing that makes me wake up every single day to keep grinding, to keep pushing, no matter the failure, no matter the obstacle. So my question to you is, what is that fire inside of you? What is that thing that makes you want to succeed? And don't tell me you want a Louis Vuitton bag, right? Don't tell me that. Is it for your family? Is it for your kids? Is it for freedom? Whatever that is, take that and think about that every single day. Keep it in your heart. Think about it every single day. And that will be the thing that takes you to success. It's not about casual channels. It's not that, because you can succeed in any business. Any business works. But it's what you have inside of you and what you do when you do fail, or you do meet an obstacle, and how you overcome that. That's going to be the thing that differentiates those who are winners versus those who actually lose.
Bro, that was beautifully said.
Appreciate you, brother.
Well, man, dude, thanks for coming on. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. You can just type in my name, Paul Hilse. I'm planning on starting my own personal YouTube channel soon. We'll see how that goes. But I just want to provide as much value as possible to people. Again, Paul Hilse as well. But yeah, if you ever have any questions, like shoot me a text. I'm happy to help. I try to respond to everyone. Sometimes I do have a lot of DMs, but I'll try my best to get back to everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on, brother. I really appreciate it. I think this was super valuable. People are going to learn a lot. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Peace out, everyone. Good luck. You got this.